Hello KG2, welcome back to your social studies class. Today we will be visiting one more country in the continent of Europe. That's right, we have already visited England and the Netherlands, and today we will visit one more country which is in the same continent, that's in Europe. Can you guess what's the name of the country? We are going to Italy. Let's go. Today we will be making a pretend visit to another country in Europe. We will visit the country of Italy. Now, just like England and the Netherlands, Italy is also in the continent of Europe. We will cross over some beautiful mountains to visit Italy. That is Tony's country. This is Tony, and he is going to show us different cities in the country of Italy. And behind him are the Italian Alps. Yes, those beautiful mountains surrounding Italy, they are called Italian Alps. Now, if you look at the map of Italy, it is shaped like a boot. That's right. And the big island at the toe of Italy is also a part of this country. So it looks like the boot is kicking a football. Now, there are many cities in Italy. Many famous and beautiful cities, and today we will visit some of those cities. But first we will go to Rome. Rome is a large and very old city in Italy, and it is also Italy's capital city. In Rome, you will see beautiful fountains and the remains of very, very old buildings like the Colosseum. And right next to the new and modern buildings, you will see the old buildings too. The old buildings were built by the Romans about the time when Jesus lived on earth. Yes, that was very, very long time ago. So these buildings are very old. These Romans were the people who ruled the world at that time. So the people in Rome at that time, they were called Romans, and they ruled the earth long, long time ago, and they're the ones who built these buildings. There is an old road called the Appian Way that was built in those days that people still use for travel today. And this is how it looks like. Isn't that great? They built it long, long time ago and people still use it. It is called the Appian Way. North of Rome is the city of Genoa. Do you know why the city is famous? It is a tiny city, but it is very famous because a very famous explorer was born here. His name was Christopher Columbus. He was the man who discovered America. That's right. Christopher Columbus was a very famous explorer because he discovered America. You will learn more about him as you get older. Genoa is right by the sea. There are many interesting places to visit in Italy. Tony wants to take us to see Venice. Now, Venice is one of the most beautiful cities in Italy. It is a city that has rivers instead of streets. That's right. Instead of having streets and cars, they have rivers, and they call those rivers canals. Now, you must be wondering, how do they go around Do they swim? No, they have a long and narrow boat which is called a gondola. It will be fun to ride down the canal in a gondola. And that man standing on the back of the gondola is steering it. I hope he will watch where he is going because I see many motorboats on the canal too. The city of Venice was built on 118 islands. Wow, that is many islands. That is why it has so many canals. Next, we will go to Pisa and see the famous Leaning Tower of Pisa. The land under this bell tower is not solid. It sinks a little bit every year. That makes the tower lean a little bit more each year.
Every year, millions of tourists travel to Pisa, Italy, to see the famous Leaning Tower. Despite its notorious tilt, the tower has stood for nearly 850 years, and there's no sign it's going to fall over anytime soon. However, that wasn't always the case. The Leaning Tower of Pisa was originally intended to stand straight up, designed as a freestanding bell tower to accompany the Pisa Cathedral. Construction began in 1173, but by the time the second floor was added, the foundation began to sink, and the tower started to lean. The ground at the building site was a poor choice for a tower. Sand, clay, and mud, too soft to support the weight of the heavy marble. As one side of the tower sank, the builders tried to compensate by making the columns on the low side taller so that it would seem straight. Unfortunately, the extra weight only made the tower lean more. It soon became obvious that the problems with the tower were too big to fix that way, and construction was stopped after only 5 years while the architects looked for a solution. In the meantime, Pisa went to war with Genoa, and for a century the tower was abandoned. It wasn't until 1272, nearly 100 years after it was started, that work resumed. By then, the ground under the tower had settled enough to better support its weight, and the tower was leaning south, the opposite direction. Construction continued for 6 more years, but this time they knew the tower was going to lean. The height of each story was tapered so that the floors at the top would be flat. Once they completed the 7th story, building halted again. It wasn't until 1372 that the 8th story was added, angled north to try and balance out the southern lean, and the tower was completed. Although construction only lasted for about 20 years, with all the interruptions it took nearly 200 years from the day they began before the tower was completed. The finished tower measures nearly 57 meters or 186 feet tall at its highest side, and about 1 meter or 3 feet shorter on the opposite side. 2 spiral staircases lead to the top. One staircase has 294 steps, while the other has 296 steps to compensate for the differing heights. Over the years, the tower continued to lean farther, putting it in danger of falling over. Many people wanted to stop the tower from falling, but they didn't want to straighten it all the way because of how many people came to see it each year.
So I hope you enjoyed learning about Italy. We will learn more facts and more interesting things about the country of Italy in our Zoom class. So see you tonight. Goodbye.